Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. All right, so a new episode of that whole Madame Noir show came out. I watched it, and one thing I noticed, because they were talking about relationships and family and, do black women want families, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is a group of women who are in their 30s/40s who don't have families. I don't think any of the members on the panel has families. Hit the like button. But they're talking about it in the show, and it's interesting. And one thing that came to mind when this was going on was the difference in conversation that black women have when people who are not black women are part of the conversation. And this could be white men, white women, black men. If somebody else is in the conversation, the narrative, the tone, the direction of the conversation is completely different. It's never a conversation of, I don't want a man. It's always more of a conversation of, I can't find one. Oh, because of this statistic and this statistic, I can't find one, but I've been searching and hoping and dreaming and praying, blah, 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 blah. And it's just because of the, it's just because black men are insufficient is essentially what the conversation turns into when someone else is in the room. But when they're all in the room together, it's a whole different talk. But we're going to get into that. First, let me just go over the short of the day. So I'm going to say fair use. Then I'm going to play this clip. I found this clip vexing. And maybe somebody in the chat room can explain it to me. Is they had some explaining to do.
Since I wore this clothes, you know they look me. You know they turn back, they look. The thing bring out my shape, my yash, my everything. What are you saying? The way they rep high fashion here, not be small. I'm walking on the streets in peace. No one is. See, there's no danger, nothing. In fact, the danger is scared of me. Whoa, what a good time to be alive, oh. Hey. Now this bike, oh, nice shock me. Since I wore this clothes, you know they look me.
Okay. So this goes into the vexing nature of black women, the contradictory nature. This whole, I'm going to dress in a way to get attention, and I'm going to put it on YouTube to get more attention, just to show how I'm not getting attention. I'm bringing attention to the fact that I'm not getting attention here, and it's a good thing. You see the games, the manipulative mind games that's being played on general society? Like, yes, I'm going to put this out there so people cannot look at it, and I'm going to cheers people not look at it while putting it on a different platform for people to look at. Y'all see the ridiculousness? These are the people that want to control the community. These are the people who, in many cases, do control the community. If you wonder why it's in complete and total shambles, now we know why. It's because of crap like this. All right, hold on. Let me put the headset in. All right. Now, while y'all hit that like button, let me go into the next video. Now, I actually didn't see this video yet, so I decided to watch it with you all. And but the title is pretty typical. It pretty much explains what they're doing. It's the same thing that they're always doing. This is going to be one of those woe is me, I'm a black woman and I can't find a decent black man, but I've been trying and I've been so faithful and blah 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 blah. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, and we're going to go into like one of the originals, not the originals, but one of the classics on this, and then we'll go into the feature at hand. Hit the like button. All right, so yeah, it's this guy again. This It's this guy. Educated black women struggle to find an educated partner. Okay. Okay. I mean, in shape black men have struggles finding in shape black women. What's your point?
Romantics. A new study compares college educated black women to white female counterparts. That research shows black women are 53% less likely to marry another educated black man with a degree. Joining me now to talk about this here on The Factor Uncensored, KG Smooth, Simone Redwine, and Dr. Christine Belliard. Glad to have you here on The Factor.
Look at what they got on. Look at their outfits. Look at her military blazer with the Zulu cow spots on it. Look at the pleather with the pinkish peach hide from a synthetic beast that they used to make tofu out of. And this dude is kind of like going for the 90s whole, Tim's look. All right.
Factor Uncensored. So why is this such a lopsided statistic, Doctor?
Oh, good question. So what we know is everything that we talk about, systemic racism, criminal justice issues, all of this really comes up in our families and even in our dating statistics. So starting from
And when you say families, black families.
Black families, even from the time a black male is born with infant mortality, they have a
Okay. This is their way of attempting to emasculate you. The way she said male casually means that she's a feminist or she's feminist adjacent. Just like if you hear people saying strag and hyena and stuff like that, simps. There's certain words that let you know what type of community that a person is influenced by or is a part of. A person who used the aforementioned words are likely part of the Red Pill community, or they have taken in a lot of content. Referring to men and boys, men or boys, in this case, she was, it would be a child, a male child, but she said males. Yeah. So she's on that feminist hype, which it makes sense because look at her. Like, she was born with bad genetics. Kind of like, Bubba from Forrest Gump was born with big gums. She was born with bad genetics, meaning that, she didn't hit the wall. She was born on the opposite side of it. So all she actually has in life is feminism. It's the only reason why she has friends. But we'll get into that. Hit the like button.
less likely rate of even surviving to live all the way up until they die. So that really is inequity between the races when it comes to even one, just survival. So now when you have the most educated.
Oh, and by the way, she talks about the black quote unquote male mortality rate during birth as being less than white males' mortality rate during birth. Now, what's the difference? Oh, it's the vagina. It's the vagina. So, Miss Fat Woman here, are you telling me that children that comes out of white vaginas are more likely to live than the ones that come out of yours? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that, the crap that you eat that gave you that shape that you have now is bad for babies? Are you telling me that y'all wait too long and try to pull a baby out of your last 3 eggs? Is that what you're telling me? Because I hate to tell you, sweetie, it's not really a man thing, a high infant mortality rate. It's not a man thing. All right, moving on.
group, which are now Black women, who are looking for partners. And a lot of Black women, we're the highest group, along with Asian men, to want to.
I told you. Oh, we want a partner. I so want a partner. I haven't watched this before. I so want a partner like Asian men, and you know they want partners too. Well, Asian men actually have partners. So yeah.
To marry within our ethnicity, our race, that are looking for eligible partners, and it's difficult because usually people meet in college. That's almost the narrative we were fed: go to college, find you a good man, and that narrative now it really is being questioned. So there's a lot for us to unpack when it comes to dating.
Y'all just now questioning it. Y'all been on this education hype since they start cutting back welfare. Oh, by the way, it's not a coincidence that this whole "I'm so educated" came like right after the Bill Clinton welfare cuts. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. But they've been on this "I'm so educated" hype for a long time. And it's like, oh, you know something? There's no correlation between education and a woman's value in a relationship.
Marriage for Black women who are educated.
And Simone, you're an attorney.
Yes.
Was that always, or was that a thought for you, looking for educational equality
Absolutely.
with your significant other?
Yes, I wanted an intellectual equal. And actually, my mother had warned me about these statistics back when I was in high school.
What was that conversation like?
My mother said, don't do like me. She said she focused on what was the girl-guy ratio, but didn't know that that meant white girl to white guy ratio. So she said, make sure you ask about Black males to Black females. I did. And the only school that I found out of all of them that had a ratio in our favor was Notre Dame University.
Did you go to
There
Notre
are
Dame?
50 Black men to every Black woman on that campus.
Did you go to Notre Dame? You see, she's talking as if finding a Black man was her top priority in college, but it's not. What it is it's finding a degree and then using that degree to make higher demands of the men that you're looking for. That's it. See, other groups of women actually look for men while they're in college. You know, while they're in their prime, while they are more valuable, while they're at their most valuable. Y'all wait till after thinking that that's going to yield you better results. And y'all been doing this for a long time. Y'all been, dang, she is not an attractive woman. Y'all have been doing this for a long time. And like they say in the chat room, you're dressed like a piñata.
Oh, wow.
Because of sports. It's a small campus, but they have so many African American men due to their
Did they
sports.
take into account those Black men dating white women?
No, but I hope of the 50. I was like, we're going to figure this out.
The funk, you know, right about that. That's real.
Very true. Very true.
So, KG, your thoughts on this study and the struggle that Black women face?
I think the question needs to be asked. Is she looking for that at that moment? I mean, I think when you're in college, like, have fun. Like, do you want to be tied down in a relationship while you're studying? I mean, it's going to take away, you know, some of your time, your energy, and all of that. So I think one needs to ask.
Okay, first of all, he sounds he just sounds But secondly, the fact that he said what he said just now really shows how Black men, society at large, really view Black women. They view Black women as a liability. They view Black women as a hassle. First of all, they don't view Black women as helpmates. Let's start there. He would not have said what he just said if he viewed Black women as helpmates. He don't view them as helpmates. He view them as liabilities to whatever it is you're attempting to accomplish. So if you're going to school for your degree, say you want to be a doctor or something, and he looks at Black women as a hindrance to that goal. While other groups of men, they look at women as a helper to that goal, hence the term helpmate. I'm trying to be a doctor. I need you to make some, I know they don't use flashcards anymore, but I need you to make some flashcards for me. You know, I need you to proofread this paper for me. I need you to check this book out for me. I would have an additional 30 minutes to an hour of study time if you were to cook dinner tonight. Things like that. But because he knows that Black women don't innately behave this way, he looks at it as, okay, you're a hindrance. Let's listen to some more. Hit the like button. Y'all not comment. Say what's on your mind.
Ask themselves, do I want this, or am I going to be here to have fun? And not only that, I mean, is this from PWIs, just predominantly white institutions, that these statistics are prevalent, or did they also gauge the HBCUs?
Can I point out something really fast? I think it's so interesting.
That didn't make no sense. I gave him the benefit of reasonable intelligence. That did not make any sense. She just said that, first of all, the statistics that the fat one gave wasn't even like a university specific thing. She was talking about the mortality rate from birth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other one said that, Notre Dame was one of the few schools where the Black men outnumbered the Black women. It's like, is that a HBCU? Well, she said schools. That's not limited to PWIs. Come on now. I think you were just talking to talk.
That the Black male pointed out, oh, go to college, have fun. And you had the narrative of go to school and really.
Okay, she's a therapist and she don't listen. He didn't say have fun. He said focus on your goals and not focus on women. There's nothing less fun than that. There's nothing less fun with that. See, there's a lot of people who are in positions like psychiatrists and stuff like that, not because they're particularly smart or particularly good at school. It's because they didn't have anything else to do in college but study, because they weren't invited to the step show and they weren't invited to the after party. They weren't invited to the luau's, the cookouts, or their toga parties. So they had to study to become a doctor and spread their foolishness to, mentally vulnerable people. He didn't say play. You heard something completely different than what he said. Hit the like button.
Try to find a mate. What are your best odds? And to me, this speaks to the inequity where you were able to be given the narrative. I'm making an assumption that you should go develop, have fun. Mm-hmm. And we know the ratio in most schools to Black men compared to Black women, it's disproportionate. Some schools, it's 13 women to 1 male. And a lot of the men know that. So they're having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But since it's on the backs of Black women, sometimes little.
You can do that. Right? Yeah, you.
He didn't say have fun. They have these pre-canned arguments and talking points. He didn't say have fun. He said focus on your academics.
I don't think anybody should get married until 30.
I
if
agree.
you ask me. I mean, because you're in your 20s, you're still learning who you are. So, trying to jump into it.
If it takes you that long to figure out who you are, then you're an idiot. If it takes you 12 years of adulthood to figure out who you are, then you are a freaking idiot. Yeah, there isn't much to be said. It takes you 30 years to figure out that you like peanuts. Like, what's wrong with you? I mean, like, most football players become football players like in their 20s. And then what, at 30, they say, oh, I don't like football. The problem with people like this is that they listen to all these catchphrases and they just like internalize them and not really screen them for intelligence. It's just like, oh, you got to find who you are. You ever notice how like the Tuskegee Airmen were like, I don't know, like 17 to 21 and crap like that. Like, where were the guys who were fine? Like, everybody has like a grandparent or a parent or a great grandparent that married at 17 and stuck together, until the end did them part, until breath did them part. Whatever happened to that? Like, why is it that the 14-year-olds of the past didn't have to figure themselves out? Are you stupid? Like, why is it that it takes you like 3 times longer than what they consider manhood in other communities, the bar mitzvah communities? The bar mitzvah is like 13 or some crap like that. And it's like, oh yeah, well, they're considered a man then, but we need an extra 17 years. We need twice as long and then some. Don't be stupid.
A serious relationship as you're trying to obtain a degree. I mean, if you're great at balancing, then hey, have at it.
And Dr. Belliar, is it your responsibility, though, to look as a black female for another black male?
I love that you point this out. One thing that
Okay, here we go with the whole black women are loyal to a fault narrative. Like, yes, black women are loyal to a fault, and you could tell by the fact that he went directly to her that it was already pre-planned. There was really no reason to go to her in the rotation after he just got finished speaking. There really wasn't. She wasn't next in line. That wasn't like a natural flow of the conversation, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. So he's given her the alley-oop to give the same tired narrative that we're loyal. No, you're not loyal. It's not a matter of loyalty. That's like saying that I'm loyal to non-supermodels. I'm loyal to not Rihanna is the way that shout out to Chris Rock. I'm loyal to not Rihanna is the same way that you are loyal to black men, or it's like, no, you have been trying all groups of men for a long time with no success because you look like you and you sound like you. And that is the truth of the matter. That is the harsh truth. Attractive women, listen me good. Never take advice from a woman less attractive than you. Never take advice from a woman who is less attractive than you. She envies and, quite frankly, downright hates you. Now, she's not going to admit it because she needs you to get men like me to even look in her direction. But deep down, she hates you.
I'll say it's important for us to really expand our horizons for some black women who are open to dating outside their race. Because one thing I'll say, if you open up the pool, you do have a higher likelihood statistically.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you open up the pool, I want you to explain that statistic. Because we talked about in a previous video. If you haven't seen it, check my archives. It might be on members only. But we talked about how more options actually causes more problems in the dating market. I forget what it's called. I'll look it up. But we talked about that. That's not necessarily the case, and you should know that.
I want to point out with stats, if we understand that 53% of black women are less likely to get married, that means there are.
That's not what that is not the stat that he just said. He said 53. He said that black women who are educated are 53% less likely to get with an educated black man than an educated white woman is to get with an educated white woman. You don't hear good. You don't hear good. Your whole job is listening. You're supposed to be a therapist. You're supposed to be a therapist. People like you is why people get messed up, because they take the wrong prescription, because you're stupid.
Are some Black women who are getting married. So we have to also counter this negative that, oh my gosh, because I know I even fell into that. Getting a PhD, there are huge statistics. If you are a Black woman getting a PhD or any graduate degree, you have less than a 15% chance of.
What are the chances of an overweight woman finding marriage, love, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? What percent of men actually prefer overweight women to fit women? It's not your PhD. It's your fat and your face that is hindering you in the dating, mating, and relating market. And quite frankly, your dress sense is trash too. If men were to make an honest list of what they want, you would just have like a functioning vajayjay. That's it. There's nothing. Okay. And that's enough for you. Hit the like button.
Getting married. So if I would have just fed into that narrative, it's easy to really function from fear.
Mhm.
So my biggest thing to counter racism and all of these isms is to always try to counter the narrative.
What does racism have to do with any of this? What does racism have to do with any of this? You just kind of threw that out there. This and the sad thing is that women like this is who other Black women and children go to for help.
Don't function from fear, but allow yourself to really connect with who you are, what do you really want, and how can you open up yourself to the possibility of your dreams? Because Black women, we deserve to have it all. You can.
Who in the world deserves to have it all? Wow. I'm pausing for effect. I didn't mean to have the dead air, but wow. Just wow. You Black men, I want you to go out and say to somebody, I deserve to have it all. You don't deserve anything more than what you work for. Now, if you find yourself getting something more than what you work for, then that's extra. That's extra. I was in Colombia and I found a 20 peso, which is $5. I didn't deserve it, but I got it. In fact, I just got like a $500+ check in the mail, and I haven't cashed it yet, and I haven't even read what it was about. I haven't even read what it was about yet, but it's from what I gleaned, it was like a class action lawsuit or something like that I didn't even sign up for. I did not sign up and say, hey, class action lawsuit, blah, 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 blah. I didn't deserve that, but I got it and I'm happy. I don't go around saying, hey, I deserve random $500. The last time I got a thing like that was from AT&T. And I didn't do it. They did it. They just went back and said, hey, you've been paying for an extra line for a couple of years now. Somebody said Tyson. No, it wasn't a Tyson lawsuit. Was it Chicken or something like that? It wasn't that. I'm not going to say the company, but it wasn't. I'll tell you, it wasn't that one. But yeah, the fact that, notice how they like to use the word entitled when describing every other group of people. Like, oh, look at Karen. She's entitled. White people are entitled. White men are entitled. Black men, you're entitled. You're not entitled to a woman that's fit, feminine, and friendly. You're entitled. And so, while accusing everybody else of being entitled, they say stuff like, we deserve everything. I can't make that up. We deserve everything.
pursue a beautiful career, but also your family life. You deserve that as well as anyone
Why do you
else.
deserve
Now, Simone, we know you're engaged to a black
Yes.
guy. You came here on the Factor Uncensored, and you guys are both reality stars. You announced it. But did you ever at one point say, look, I can't find the black guy I'm looking for. Let me go with who's breathing and who's got a pulse. But also
Absolutely.
the standards I'm looking for.
Yes, because for me, a minimum is you have to have at least a college degree. And actually, my sister told me if Rashid doesn't work out, my fiance, I'm picking a white man for you. She just already told me. She said, yeah, I got to pick because the one.
That is a very weird thing to say. See, I understand the concept of opening your options, opening your pool up, which is why passport bros and people like that exist. But to say, as she said, I'm going to find you this particular, that's you're actually closing your pool to your existing pool. You're closing your existing pool to go to a pool that literally says no colors. I mean, they don't say it because they can't, but the pool actually says no colors in the statistics. Just saying.
Ones you have brought home are a little bit crazy and a lot of bit of trouble. So I said, well, let me make this work.
KG, you didn't go home with her, right? You guys were on the same reality show.
Yeah, we were on the same. No, I didn't go home. No. But I will say this, fellas: the intellectual woman, they are the most freakiest. So I want to get you educated.
Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no correlation. I mean, I'm not going to try to prove a negative, but there's little to no correlation to a woman's intellect and her sexual value. There isn't. That's just oh gosh. I mean, it really doesn't make sense when you think about it. Because, in fact, if there was any correlation, it would be a correlation in the opposite direction. For example, and it actually made me want to go there too. It actually made me want to go there. Y'all can look it up if you want to. If so, put the link in the chat room. But there was this girl, light-skinned girl. She's somewhat local, and she was like her senior year in high school, and she just had this thing. She, like she just had this calling to be a stripper. The day after high school, she's like, I'm out. And they even showed the club in Stockton, California. If y'all going to look it up, they even showed the club that she was going to work at. She said, listen, my dream in life is to get bucket naked to oogling people. Now, women with that freaky mindset, they go in different directions. You know, they're more likely to find themselves in a corn studio while the other girls are in college. They're more than likely to, find themselves sleeping in a U-Haul during the NBA All-Star tournaments, waiting for the ballers to come out. They're more likely to find themselves in places where their hypersexual nature will benefit them. Another example, when I was in college, there was a chick, and she was in school, but she wasn't in college. You want to know where she was? She was in massage therapy school. You want to know what she said that she was going to do when she graduate? She said that I am going to be a physical therapist and she was good at what she did, massages. She said, I'm going to be a physical therapist for either football team or or basketball team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for her, that probably would have been like 49ers or Raiders or something like that. So I was like, oh, okay. I see where your mind is at. You know, I mean, yeah, it's just, what are you talking about? You're just making up stuff. See, I hate it when guys say that this particular cohort of women are the most freakiest, because what they're doing is they're just advertising for a group of women that really people don't care about, but they try to get you to care about them. For example, and I heard it all too. You know, oh no, big girls got the best box. What's the other one? Oh, you know it gets better when she's pregnant. No, it does not. There is no reason why God would make box better to a pregnant chick. If anything, he would make it better like when she's in menses, when she's fertile. Like, why in the world do that make sense? That's just a lie that they tell you that you just take in hook, line, and sinker to compliment chicks. Educated women got the best the hell up.
Woman, and make sure that you got a brain too.
See, it wasn't me who said it this time. It was KG Screw who said it.
Okay, somebody said something, and I'm going to respond to it. By the way, option paralysis, that's what it was. I think, or choice paralysis, something like that. Yeah, but yeah. Somebody says, I mean, they're lonely and should be horny. Listen. If they were truly that horny, they wouldn't be lonely. It's not like we live in a time where penis is hard to find. Let's be clear. I don't know if you're the dude here, but let's be clear. We don't live in a time where penis is hard to find. Okay? A true freak would not be lonely. A true freak would be on Insta Twitter immediately, or Insta Tinder immediately. Or Bumble Hinge immediately, because they don't have the restraint. They don't have the restraint to not put my penis in their mouth. That is a true freak. They will put, they have that as such a top priority. But with the educated woman, they put something in greater priority. That is how they got educated.
Is there ever for you as a male, like, okay, I need her to have this, that, or do you say,
why do they keep calling grown men males? It's like this dude just internalized the disrespect. If this is you, you are a man. Correct him. Like, whoa. You see my beard and stuff? I got a whole wallet. Like, I am a man. I don't have cartoon characters on my drawers. I am a man. And this title says black women. How come it doesn't say black females? See, this is how they do. This is how the feminist type do. Hit the like button. They put you in a perpetual state of midgetry. They put you in this whole in this category of, you are a male. I'm going to call you the same thing that I did call you when you were a boy. Like, yes, you are a black male. These are black women, and you are a black male.
If we can get along, I like that. If I love her.
Yeah, I definitely have some characters. I want her to be smart. I want her to be funny, and I want her to be carefree. I'm not in the business of trying to control a human being. That's not my job.
That is your job. That's your job. Holy crap. My dude, this is the conditioning. This is the conditioning. Yes, you are the head of household. It is your job to control other human beings. Now, black women have confused the narrative to what your job is, and then they complain that you're not doing your job. But make no mistake, That is your job. Listen at you. I cannot believe this.
Yeah, I definitely have some characters. I want her to be smart. I want her to be.
They've also convinced this man that he's not supposed to have any physical standards. I want her to be smart.
Funny, and
No.
I want her to be carefree. You know, I'm not in the business of trying
Where's your physical standards?
to control a human being. That's not my job.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is
if I
your
rock
job.
with you, I rock.
Gosh, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. This is what we're reduced to. That's like a soldier saying it's not my job to fight, or a boxer saying it's not my job to fight.
rock with you, good, bad, and indifferent. So, you know, just be authentically you.
And Dr. Belliard, for those who may have that checklist, and there are a lot of women. Are you telling me to rap when I just asked the question?
Good.
Really quick, with a checklist.
Yes,
if you
yes,
have
yes.
a checklist and you want that checklist,
Right.
but it's not happening, what would you tell that woman in 20 seconds?
I would just say in 20 seconds to get some feedback on your list, right? See, head nod. Make sure you check in with people that perhaps you look up to that are in relationships, people that perhaps are really great friends. Because what I'll say, sometimes people are bound by their checklist. And sometimes, yeah, he may not be 6'7", but he may be 5'11", and you're married.
We got you.
All right. I noticed that the women had physical preferences, but the men didn't. I want to point that out. That the women were like, you know, okay, they have a checklist. Notice his checklist had like 3 things, and it was all something that could be faked. I mean, and it's really one of those things that you know, like intelligence and funny. That's something that people say when they don't have obvious qualities. That's like an answer that people give when it's like, why are you with this person? Oh, because they're funny. It's like, okay, you know, that's a subjective thing, you know. All right. I want to point something out to y'all because I went here today and I didn't notice this, but let me share this with y'all. So my comment here, let me remove this and remove this. Actually, before I get into that, let me read the super chat. I greatly appreciate you. KMS, greatly appreciate you. It says, I made the pivot of, let's see, what's that? Excusing? Or excuse me. Dang, hold on. I'm gonna put this on a bigger screen because I could barely see it. I made the pivot of excusing their behavior with, oh, they're emotional, to, oh, they're stupid. Sometimes those two things are one and the same. Socially illiterate, society literally made them dumber by robbing them of the ability to be accountable for their actions or lack of actions. Absolutely. So I'm going to talk about that for a second. When you have a welfare system, we're going to go there for a second. The welfare system, what it did was it said, no matter how bad you mess up in life, we got your back. And that is the definition of no accountability. You're not accountable if things go wrong. It's kind of like going to Vegas and betting on a roulette table. And if you win, you win. And if you lose, you still get your money back. It's like, okay, I'm put $100 on black, and then it turns up red. It's like, oh, well, here you go. So it did breed a mentality. And a person who has been unaccountable for a long period of time is going to be stupid. It's like going to university where you can't fail. You are going to be stupid because you're not pushing yourself. There is no motivator to make you smart. there's nothing. It's just like, okay, you know, yeah, there's no driver. And since and it gets worse when you're a black woman for a number of reasons, because you don't have to listen to others. And that is really what makes people wisen up, is listening to others. I have, over the years, you learn from your mistakes. People check you when you're wrong. That doesn't happen to black women. And the reason why that doesn't happen to black women is because if a white man were to check her, he's racist. If a white woman were to check her, she's racist. If a black man were to check her, he's sexist. So they walk around with this "who gonna check me, boo," since the moment they got their first menstruation, which means that when you're talking to a 40-plus-year-old doctor, you still are dealing with somebody with the same mental maturity as a 14-year-old pubescent teen. And education is not the cure for stupidity. I want to say that too. Education is not the cure for stupidity. Kind of like, working out, exercise is the cure for, being overweight or something like that. Or maybe if you're too skinny or scrawny or something like that, it's the cure for a poor physique. Let's say that. Education doesn't work that way. Maybe at one point it did, but it doesn't really force you to think in many regards, in many majors, I should say. It really just forces you to memorize temporarily what others have thought. I'm going to repeat that. Education for many majors, and psychiatry included, really just forces you to temporarily remember what others thought, not think yourself. B-dubs won't accept that they're their worst, that they're their own worst enemy. Absolutely. Men have far fewer standards. Black men have the lowest standards that has ever existed since Adam. Adam's standards was Eve. That was it. Yeah. Men have far fewer standards, which are all regarding the women's ability to successfully bond. But for black women, that's the final level of qualification. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, black women are overlooking, policemen, firemen, plumbers, mailmen, heck, Navy SEALs. They're overlooking electricians, and these are guys that make more money than most educated guys. Guys are in school for reasons other than becoming a doctor, engineer, or lawyer or something like that. So, if you are a plumber or electrician, I remember I had an electrician come over, Asian dude and his son, and because the light in my bathroom wasn't working. And so on the place where you plug it in, there's like a little button on the socket. And I guess I pressed it by mistake. And he checked some things, and then he went to that outlet, and then he seen the button and he pushed it. He was like, that'll be $90. I was like, dang. This man getting $90 an hour. That's $200K. And he didn't even have to work the whole hour. So he's going to get more. And labor is not taxed. So it's a whole different thing. But y'all turn dudes like that down because you're stupid. All right. But yeah, so thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the super chats and cash apps to those who send it. Greatly appreciate you all. All right, so 12 years ago, before I was on YouTube, I commented on this, and it's still the top comment. Now I don't know if it's just a top comment because I'm here and I'm watching it through my channel, but hey, it's good to be me, I guess. I mean, if not, it's still at top. So yeah, it says, yeah, what they said is true. They're, oh man, I said the wrong there. It's true. There are more black women than black men in the U.S. So it would make sense to make a new report that put them in a favorable light versus black men, just higher ratings. Don't know where I was going with that. I'll be honest. I don't know what I was on there. I'm sure it made sense in my head when I said it, and I'm sure I was thinking a different there. Okay, let's see. I'm starting to think these particular ladies want to be single. Okay, now we're on to something. Actually, now, so 12 years ago, I did not waver. I don't know what I was on the last comment, but 12 years ago, I did not waver. It's the same thing I was thinking then is the same thing I was thinking now. I don't think that these particular ladies want to be single. Because getting a man would break their sisterhood that they have with each other. Absolutely. Wait, I'm starting to think that these particular ladies want to be single. I knew there's something wrong with that. Yeah, because getting a man would break their sisterhood that they have with each other. Being single unites them. And if one were to get a man, the others would pick him apart and simply say, you can do better. Oh, I was killing it. I'm a prophet. I'm a God. This is me killing it. This, because they have still been on the same crap. They still, oh man, I'm gonna write this down. I mean, I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna do a shirt on this. Like, I have been killing it for over 10 years now. Like, I have seen through this garbage for a long time. Now, let's watch this.
Paraphrase those famous lyrics, but for millions of black women, many blessed with brains and beauty, finding the right man is proving elusive. But why? Are their standards too high, or are the pickings too slim?
Oh crap. Okay, she starts off love, marriage, and a baby carriage. That's what. Oh, why do you think that that's what they want? Just because just because that's what you want, that doesn't mean that that's what they want. But let's listen.
Lindsay Davis tried to answer that question.
Birthday! Cheers! Make a wish.
Nicole Marchand is celebrating another birthday. At 31, she's accomplished a lot. She's a prosecuting attorney and running for state court judge.
It'll be a $500 fine.
Nicole isn't the kind of...
Okay, so I looked up how much prosecuting attorneys make, and it's like $60K. Like in Atlanta, Georgia, you can look it up. Like it was like $60K or something like that. They're not killing it.
The woman you find standing by on the sidelines of life. But you would find her here at the Georgia Dome, cheering on the Atlanta Falcons. You've heard of a man's man. Nicole is the quintessential man's woman. She appears to have it all, and yet she's still single. 42% of black women have never been married. That's double the number of never married white women.
I look forward to the day. I look forward to being married.
It's just not that easy. For starters, there are more black women than black men. 1.8 million more. So even if every black man in America married a black woman today, 1 out of 12 still.
How many more white men? How many more white women are there than white men? See the foolishness?
Still wouldn't make it down the aisle. Let's take 100 black men. If you eliminate those without a high school diploma, those without a job, and the
you're not supposed to add it, sweetie. See, this is the crap I'm talking about. You're not supposed to add it. You don't add, those without a high school diploma and those without a job, because there are people who don't have a job or a high school diploma. So you don't add those two numbers. It's called intersectionality. Jesus. You're not supposed to add it. Okay. And here's why you don't add it. Say I was to say 80% of black women are overweight, because 80% of black women are overweight. and then I was to say, I don't know, 60% of Black women have fake hair. And then I were to add those two numbers, I would say, 100% of Black women are either fake haired or overweight. That's why you don't add numbers like that, because it excludes the women who are both overweight and have fake hair. Jesus. And this is the news. So we know who they are creating this false narrative for. Hit the like button.
Number of Black men between the ages of 25 and 34 who are incarcerated, that leaves only about half.
Okay, if you are incarcerated, then you are unemployed. That goes into the stat that 8% should not even be there.
Of Black men eligible to pop the question. Nicole sees the problem every day.
It is sad to see that the majority of the defendants that we prosecute are Black males. Those numbers can be
Notice how she's saying males?
very disappointing.
Admittedly, the selection of men is slim.
Get it through your head. You're the Friday girl that's just for sex. That's what you are.
We broach this serious dilemma with comedian turned relationship guru Steve Harvey, author of the book Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
There are still a lot of good men out there who are being overlooked.
Harvey says Black women don't have to settle, but may need to compromise.
You a corporate exec? Does he have to be a corporate exec? You make $150,000 a year. He has to make 150 or above. That's your requirement. If your requirement sheet is ridiculous, you have to look at it.
What we looked at were the large numbers of professional Black women who groomed themselves for success with BA.
By the way, the news reporter is being disingenuous. And the reason is because, for one, she literally had to cherry pick well, not literally, but she really had to search for these women. She had to find these women. You know, it's not like she just walked outside and seen 4 Black women and said, "Hey, you 4, come on in here." Because if she did, it'll be a bunch of fake hairedness. It'll be a bunch of, put it like this. This is not the Kendra G show. That's what happens when you have a random selection.
A's, MDs, and JDs. 70% of them are still without the more elusive title, MRS.
I would be lying if I said that I don't have fleeting thoughts of.
By the way, she's the only one that ever got married. Out of the 4 there, she's the only one. And this is 12 years ago. Well, this is longer than, this is like 15 years ago. She is the only one out of the whole crew that got married. And I don't even know if she's still married.
Okay, I'm 32. My clock is ticking.
The tick-tock of the biological clock is getting louder for several
So these chicks are like 47 now.
of Nicole's single friends. Meet Chateau Waters. She's a 32-year-old high school counselor pursuing a doctorate degree in psychology.
We have this.
You see? These aren't women that are killing it in the game. They're not.
Thing called the Black girl curse. A lot of our white friends are married by 25, like happily married. Kids by 27, and we're like, what is the deal with the BGs? And it's a Black girl.
Jaqueen Ashford is a chemist for a pharmaceutical company. Now that she's 34, she's lowered the bar when it comes to height requirements.
I don't have a certain criteria, like if you're not 6'5", and I used to, but then as I got older, I said, okay, well, maybe if you're 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", okay, maybe we could see eye to eye.
You are the dumbest broad on earth. And you're the leader. Oh, by the way, when you have a group of Black women, the one with the longest weave is the leader. I'm going to repeat this. When you have a group of Black women, the one with the longest weave is the leader. She is the leader. She is the alpha of the group. She has the longest weave, and she has the lightest contact lenses. She is the leader over all of the other women. Now, white people aren't as stupid as Umar would have you think. Every white woman who is married to a man who is not 6'5", which is the overwhelming majority of them, thinks that she's a freaking idiot. Like, maybe the problem isn't the stats and blah, 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 blah. Maybe the problem is you only want a man that's 6'5", or the reason why I got married at 25 and you didn't, because at 25 you was only messing with guys that are 6'5" or above. That's stupid. That would be the equivalent to me saying I only mess with women that can sing, that are left-handed, and have an identical twin sister. That is stupid as I don't know what. Oh, the reason why I'm single is because of the obesity problem in amongst Black women. Like, oh, well, what kind of Black women do you like? Well, I only date women, I only date Black women who has, F cups or more. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, it's got to be natural. You would say I'm stupid. Miss, you're stupid. You're stupid. This is why I didn't major in chemistry. Not because chemists are stupid, but they all like my professors or our teachers in high school. They always had something going on that made me fearful of majoring in chemistry. I had this one professor whose son needed a piece of her liver because something went wrong and he needed a liver transplant, and and she was the only one to do it. And he because he had an adult liver and he is a child, he actually had this tube that fed him water all the damn time. And she brought her son to class one day, and I was like, oh, I don't want any part of this crap. I don't want any part of this crap. I changed my major real quick, and I didn't change it to what I actually majored in. I went through a couple other science majors before I ended up with computer science, but and that wasn't the only chemistry teacher with something messed up. Her is her brain. She's stupid. Chemistry's made her stupid. Don't drink it, sweetie. You're supposed to just make it or develop it or whatever chemists do.
Kind of have certain standards that I hold myself to, and I don't feel like I should have to settle on those for the sake of having somebody. I'm willing to wait.
Like many Black men, she's also open to dating outside her race. In fact, in the past decade, the number of Black women entering interracial marriage has more than doubled.
Oh, wow.
In fact, last night,
it went from 1 to 2. In a whole decade. It's more than doubled.
was at a restaurant.
By the way, okay, so how come on the video I just shown, which was recent, which was like a month ago, they're like, oh, we're so hopelessly loyal. But I mean, this is years ago. This is almost 2 decades ago, and it shows that y'all have more than doubled. Stop talking like interracial dating is a new idea to Black women. Like, y'all haven't been trying and failing at this for years. It's not a new idea.
Great conversation with this Caucasian gentleman. I mean, we were vibing, we were clicking. I'm thinking, he's gonna ask for my number. White men never ask for my number. And he was like, all right, well, great conversation. Maybe I'll see you around. And I was thinking, what happened?
Ask for his.
No.
We're maybe not as.
And that's the real reason why interracial dating doesn't really work for y'all like that. That's the real reason. It's not because, oh, I'm loyal, I'm so loyal. It's because they're not going to, it's just not that type of party for you, sweetie. It's not. Oh, but look at how long my weave is. It is not, listen, they're not used to women with detachable hair. How much y'all want to bet? How much y'all want to bet that the white man was not 6'5" or more? How much y'all want to bet that? Somebody said it best. How can how can a group of unmarried women be loyal? Loyal to whom? Exactly. Exactly. Like, loyal to whom? You actually have to be a part of something to be loyal to that thing that you're a part of. That's like me, right? I am not a part of any fraternity, nor have I ever been. So that's like me saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna pledge alpha because I'm loyal to the Kappas." Like, but you're not a Kappa. You're not loyal to black men if you're not with black men. Like, yeah, I agree with you, Luigi.
Coveted as black men in society.
Melinda Watson is a 28-year-old payroll specialist. She hasn't had an exclusive relationship since college.
I just feel that there's a lot of taboo associated with.
These are not like extravagant titles. You know, when you're talking about what they're asking for from men, I'm a payroll specialist. I'm willing to bet that that job doesn't even exist right now. I don't even think that's a job anymore. If somebody told me that they were a payroll specialist, I would think that they're working at a place with an old-timey printer that's a dot matrix printer that you could hear on, and then at the end you have to tear it off. Like, I would assume that that's what a payroll specialist does. It's all on computers now. Like, what is a payroll specialist? What is a payroll specialist? And it's not like, you know, this is old. It's not like this is something from the 90s. No, if she's a payroll specialist, then she was grandfathered in for affirmative action. Like, that's not even a real job. That's just like busy work. You know, that you might as well be like the corporate pencil sharpener. That is not a real job. You went to school for that?
Since college.
I just feel that there's a lot of taboo associated with dating black women because I don't think that they're necessarily going to want to take us home to see mama.
The consensus in this group.
It's not taboo. It's you. Like, I haven't dated anybody since college. The question I need to be asked is how many men have approached you since college? You're not an unattractive woman, you know. So let's just say you graduate college at 22 and you're 28. How many men have you shot down in the last 6 years?
Was that their preference is to marry a black man. It's not that they can't find one to date.
They didn't say that. Her preference is to marry somebody that's 6'5".
Issue in many cases is exclusivity.
You meet these great guys, you have good relationship, good rapport, and then it's almost like, I'm going to keep you around, and hopefully when I'm ready to settle down, you'll be there. That's the back part.
Okay. That is exactly what you are doing to the guys. Like, by being single, you are putting relationships on back burners. You're hoping that guys will be available to you later in life.
Pocket girl.
The back pocket girl.
Yeah. Every now and then they'll check in with you to make sure you're still single.
You're not married,
Right.
Are you still single?
Right.
Somebody said a payroll specialist is now a computer. Exactly. And it's been a computer for a long time. Like, I've been getting direct deposit since I don't know when, you know, and there's nobody to call. Like, I mean, like, if something goes wrong with my check, I don't even know the number to call. And I never have to think about it because nothing ever goes wrong with my check because it's a computer behind it.
You still waiting on me? No, not really.
Chateau hasn't been in a committed relationship in more than a decade.
If you have 4 quality
Somebody say you call HR if that happens. Yeah, that's probably who I would call. I've never called HR for anything ever. Actually, I did. I called them for at the company I worked for at the time, you get reimbursement. You get reimbursement for a lot. I actually didn't notice somebody in a different department where they look at details. I forget what title he held. It was a white dude, but he was like, nah, you supposed to get this, and this. And so I talked to him. He said, no, I talked to our HR. Man, I got like discount phone, discount gym. I got like I swear, after everything that he told me to tell them about, it was like anywhere between $200 to $300 a month. So I don't know if he was like in underwriting or something like that, but he knew what he was talking. This dude, I thought I was frugal. This man knows how to save a buck. So salute to him. But yeah, I was the only time I called HR.
Women that you're dating and, you know, they're in rotation. I mean, who's going to rush into a marriage?
We decided to ask Mr. Harvey for advice. He listened as we asked our single ladies
This chick been on rotation for over 10 years.
about their requirements.
I had a list of about 50 things that I would keep in my Bible.
Holy crap. Nobody's pointing to that as a problem. It's incarceration. It's the 8% that's incarcerated, not the 90% of dumbass broads.
It's now down to about 10.
Honesty,
Supportive, financially stable.
Now, granted, I'm 31, so he needs to be at a certain stage. What do you consider a deal breaker?
if there's not that initial chemistry, it's never going to work. I don't care if you have every quality on my list.
I'm not going to talk to you if I'm not attracted to you.
Right.
Are they asking too much?
So maybe it's just that we want it all.
Single ladies, throw your hands up. How y'all doing?
His initial reaction?
All y'all fine. Hell, who don't want to go out with y'all? Me and my age have made a mistake in that we didn't teach the generation behind us the principles of manhood.
This man is an idiot bumpkin if I ever seen one. He's like if Bubba and Forrest had a baby. He's a complete idiot bumpkin.
There are so many African American men missing, absent in the family.
His advice? Go for the older man.
You have a biological clock. We don't.
While these women look forward to settling down.
Okay, I don't know what happens off camera, but none of these women actually said that they didn't go for older men. But he is the type of stupid to say y'all should go for older men, and I'm pretty sure the one chick would say, yeah, the white guy that didn't ask for my number was 50. Yeah. And trust me, this isn't a shot at you rural brothers that live either in the South or just like in a rural area or something like that. But don't be a bumpkin. Just because you live in a place like that don't mean you have to be a damn bumpkin. If you live in Mississippi, you're through already. But outside of that, you don't have to be a bumpkin. This dude gets on my nerves. Freaking simpleton. All right, so super chat, greatly appreciate you. It says 1 out of 4 of them got married. That pretty much lines up with the marriage rate for Black women. Absolutely, yeah. And we see why, but there is a lie because I'm going to show the contradiction. I'm going to show the contradiction in a moment. Because notice how when they are in the company of others, and when I say others, I'm talking about non-Black women. When they're talking to them, it's so, woe is me. I've been trying so hard. Now I showed y'all a couple of weeks ago. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. I showed a couple of weeks ago about the woman who's 29, a virgin, and she spent her whole 20s just swiping left on dudes, only going out with like 3 dudes, and not serious because she's still a virgin. So it's not that they don't want it bad enough. That's what it comes down to. They don't want it bad enough. But, and this is a video she did when she was alone. But when somebody puts a camera on their face and it's a white woman or a Black man, white men don't even care to explore. But whenever it's those two groups of people, they tell a whole narrative like, "Oh no, I'm just a damsel in distress. I'm like Rapunzel in a tower, just waiting for the right black man to come and ask me to let my weave down." Like, listen, it can't be true on both ends. Now, after this, we're gonna see how they behave when it's only black women in the room with that are speaking. All right. It says, from a white man's perspective, I didn't know he was white, dude. All right, well, thanks a lot. Appreciate your contribution. It says, from a white man perspective, why would he purchase? Oh, you're just saying, yeah. Why would he purchase a car that they not only had access to, morality aside, for hundreds of years, but the car keeps honking at you to give it a test spin because you are the best driver ever. Exactly. Well, okay. So Tupac said it best. Shout out to Tupac. Rest in peace, you talented brother, you. I hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy. All right. Yeah, my bad. No, I got the context of the conversation later. He says I'm not white. I hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy. But it's really not a matter of that. One, there is a deficit of physical attraction between white men and black women. That's just how it is. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with, and this is the realest thing you're ever gonna hear a person say on the subject matter. So I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like button. In fact, before I say it, I'm gonna just check the likes. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna need about 10 more. I need about 10 more because this is gonna be the realest thing that y'all are gonna hear. So I'll wait for that. All right, I need 9 more likes. Oh wait, no, my bad. I need 4 more likes. Need 4 more likes. Where we at? Where they at? Where they? Dang, did it go in the opposite direction? All right, I need 3. All right, let's see. Go to the top and read some comments from there. Fellas, I need those likes. All right. All right. Yeah, I just need 2 more. All right. Let's see. Nah, I feel you. Okay. Keisha box is not hard to get. That literally makes it easy box in the world. Also, yes and no. Yes and no. In many instances, they make it hard, but it's a forced making it hard. And it depends on what you describe as Keisha. Like if you describe Keisha like the ones that look like a 80s music video, those are a little bit harder to get, and that's because she's ranking her value next to the big mama style Keishas that are in the neighborhood. All right. Oh, okay. So I got that and then some. All right. So here's the bomb I'm about to drop on society. Listen, if white men in America, in the United States, were feeling black women like that, there will be no people. There will be no black people, excuse me. I'm going to repeat that. If white men were feeling black women like that, there would be no black people today. I want y'all to imagine what would happen if the slave trade was India importing white women into India. And it's been like that for 400 years. Do you think it'll be a bunch of blue-eyed, blonde-haired Indian white women walking around still? No. They would have bred them out of existence. They would have bred them completely out of existence. In 4 centuries, they would have bred them completely out of existence if they had complete and total unchecked sexual access to them. The reason why Wesley Snipes exists is because white people was not feeling his ancestors like that. This is not a shot at Wesley. That's just how it is. If they were really feeling people like, if they were really feeling the sisters like that, then what if the slave trade was in reverse? What if it went from Europe to Africa? The first generation would be like blonde hair, blue eye. The second generation would be like, ooh, light skin. The third generation would be like, where are the white people? We're still here and recognizably. See, somebody said bars. That is why y'all hit the like button. That's why I waited till y'all hit the like button to say it. Listen, the fact that we're still here, that we're not Brazilian, that we're not Dominican, that we're not any. I don't even think that they're like black people in like France or England. Like every time I see like a black person in France or England, they're immigrants. Like their parents came from Jamaica or Nigeria or some stuff like that. That's why they be on Top Boy saying Ragwan. But do they have like a English African community that is descendants of slaves? I don't know. I don't think so. They all got bred out. Apparently they were feeling them, but like, and the same thing with France. Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, listen, for whatever reason, they just not feeling you like that. And they haven't been for quite some freaking for a long freaking time. All right. I hate to have to say it, but there it is. There it is. See how many generations white people have blue-eyed if the situation was reversed. 400 years and you still nappy? Sweetie, they're not feeling you like that. All right. So now the topic of the day, and I'm trying to do this quick because I want to be done with this by 2. Oh, dang. All right. I got to do this real quick. All right. So oh wait, is this mine? No, this is the thing. All right.
Happen. And it's probably because I never really saw myself as, being a mom. Like I've been secretly okay with it, but I felt ashamed to actually admit that.
Welcome to Listen to Black Women. I'm L'Oreal, and I'm joined by a whole lot of fun, okay? My ladies here are always...
I point this out all the time. The fatter you are, the wider your legs are. The more uncrossed your legs are. Look at this one. Look at this one. And look at the host. Now look at this one. She can get it. And this one, she can get it too. Why? Because fat women can't cross their legs.
Going to keep it real, hold it down, and be unapologetically Black, of course. Now let's start with my girl Jessie Woo right here.
Having the freedom to be who I want to be is having it all.
Danielle Young.
We've gotten to such a privilege of being able to shift the narrative of what womanhood looks like.
Melissa Ford.
We're the rich auntie uncle. Yeah. That's me.
And of course, Tori Hart.
I ended up raising my kids by myself. So you never know how it's going to play out.
Ladies, we're definitely gonna need some champagne for this one. So let's take a little toast.
Pop champagne.
Cheers. Because we're talking all about the modern day woman.
Holy crap!
But, like,
She ain't got no shirt on. She ain't got no damn shirt on. Did y'all see that? Oh, wait a minute.
So let's take a little toast.
Pop champagne. Cheers.
Holy crap, she is showing off her gut and her side boob or her inner boob. Stuff like that is sexy on a sexy woman. It's nasty when you do it. Everything you're doing, you're not hot enough to do. You're not hot enough to have short hair. You're not hot enough to have blue hair. And you're not hot enough to be shirtless. That is nasty. It's nasty when you do it. Why? Because you can't cross your legs. It's trash. I don't want to see that crap. You got a blazer with one button on. See, stop doing what pretty women do. Stop trying to sit at the cool kids table. Stop doing what pretty women do. Stop doing what more attractive women do. You're not qualified. And you think you are because you're light-skinned. No, you're not qualified.
Because we're talking all about the modern day woman. But like, even before we get into that, I have a bone to pick. Okay, Melissa.
Yeah,
I fell for you, girl. Joe Budden. Now I heard he had a lot to say about listen to Black women or Black. What was it?
They came up with a couple of quips and funny little names for the show to, I guess, highlight that I was on a couple of episodes.
Recognizing.
Wait, is that the same chick I just did a video on where she was talking about how dry her box is? Melissa Ford, right? That's the same one. She's talking about how dry her box is. That perimenopause and the box dries and it loses elasticity and every now and again she pisses herself. Yeah, that's her. That's her. She was complaining about the only moisture her vagina gets is urine. That's her.
Let's cheers again for that one.
Oh God, look at her gut. Stop. Oh crap.
Cheers to that. Shout out to our brothers for listening to Black men. They come over here. Sometimes they got to check us. Sometimes we got to check them. It's an understanding. We have mutual respect. Never called each other out each other's name. I just felt for you because I know the type of person you are. I know you're a very smart, beautiful woman. And sometimes it's cringy and hard to watch to see a man like him try to act like your opinion that is not valued like it is over here. Because, we value you.
Thank you. It's definitely a situation where, I feel like an interloper. You know what I mean? Like it was very much a man cave. Before I came along, there was quite a demand to interject a woman's point of view because it was so guy.
Speaking of something else that just makes no damn sense to me, Jonathan Majors. Right?
Oh Lord!
Numerous times.
Why? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Why did y'all talk about Jonathan Majors randomly?
He has said that he's looking for his Coretta Scott. Would you consider yourself a Coretta Scott, ladies?
I think people often forget that Coretta Scott King is and was an activist. And I find it very weird that after you get caught up with beating on a white woman.
How active was Coretta Scott King? Like, how many speeches have we heard of her while her husband was alive? How active was she? Was she an activist or was she a support system to an activist? Just dumb crap. She was an activist. Like they always try to put titles on wives of great men. Like, oh no, Winnie Mandela was the real freedom fighter. Like, shut up. Oh no, it was Sister Betty. Shut up. That's like somebody saying, oh no, it was Harriet Tubman's husband that was really doing all the work. Shut up. Hold on.
And in the midst of trying to rebrand, you get Megan Coretta Scott King.
Because guess where you ain't gonna find Coretta?
And while I love her too, I have to be honest. This man is going to a black woman to rebrand.
But they still together.
Yeah.
And he got found guilty. They still together. So maybe they might be in love.
Megan is a treasure in our community, which is why a lot of people were like, girl,
What do you mean,
no,
girl?
because
Yeah.
like we hold you up here.
I look stupid as hell. Let me tell you something. I was on air like, ain't no damn way Megan is dating this man.
And let me make something else clear too. It wasn't that black people weren't supporting him. His most viral cover was the ebony cover.
It was viral because people was calling it rainbow. This chick in this outfit with this cowboy saddle outfit with and look at how floppy they are. Look, she got like a whole pocket. Like she could carry like $10,000 underneath that saggy titty. Like it's man, I bet you it's all kind of sweaty and stuff. Gets on my nerves. It distracted me.
Well, I want to go back to the Coretta Scott of it all, because even in that little speech, hearing the audio that he was giving to Grace and telling her, I'm a great man. And
I'm like,
don't you know who I am? He was comparing himself to Martin. And it's like you're trying to get a first lady, essentially.
I watched.
Yes, that's what he's trying to get. That's what's wrong with that. Like, why are they on the brother for wanting a ladylike woman, a supportive woman? Especially now that he has it. And now they're downing Megan Good. Well, she's no longer the darling of their community. They would rather see her single. They would rather see her single trying to unthaw some eggs like these broads.
A lot of the trial, I read the transcripts. There were a lot of times when he was asking that white woman to save him by not saying anything, by staying.
Yes, because he knows that anything she says would jeopardize his career, whether it's true or not. Anything that is said will be misconstrued. Just like third-degree assault, which is a ridiculous thing, lost him tens of millions of dollars. That's how that works. That's why he's like, listen, don't do that, because coming from you in modern society, it's going to be a bad thing for me. And it was. But these chicks are trying to bring it up. You want to know why? Because they're awful and their vaginas are dry. And that is why they're behaving this way.
Quiet.
Exactly.
Right? I've been in an abusive relationship and I've chased his ass.
Okay.
And he's whooped my ass and stomped me down to the ground. And
You are a terrible human being. You see nothing wrong with admitting that. You see nothing wrong with admitting that. That how abusive was a guy if you find yourself chasing him at some point in a relationship? It means that you're either, a drama queen, a masochist, or both. And I think it's both. You like drama and you're a masochist. I mean, people don't have time for that. Martin Luther King don't have time for that. Like, what would it be like if Martin Luther King actually was with a woman like you? I have a dream that one day, hold up. Sorry, every now and again, you gotta smack a bitch. I have a dream that one day, black boys and black girls, like, what would that sound like? Nobody got time to stop whatever their advancement is in the universe to smack a bitch like you? We don't. Get a pimp. It is their full-time job to tend to your needs, to your psychological needs. They literally get paid to tend to crap like that.
Two black eyes. And I couldn't come outside for months.
Literally.
And that man, people was defending him, and people were saying that this is a good man. This is my guy. He's a good guy. And imagine being that woman, white, black, I don't care what color you are.
He's a good guy.
And he whooped on your ass, and everybody's telling you you're lying.
He's a good guy. Listen, if he wants you and he has identified you as a masochist, which you are, if your story is true, if he has identified you as a masochist, then he's really just playing into your desires. It's like, okay, you know, she's a masochist. Obviously, the only way this thing is going to work is if I'm a sadist. And then when he tries to run away and not do what you want him to do, you chase him down to get some. So no, he's not a bad person. He's just with you, which makes him a stupid person or a person with nothing to lose, which is what Jonathan Major isn't.
Because you chased them in one
Right,
video.
right. Well, you know, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
So with modern women, right, we are protecting ourselves because now it's coming to the situation where we're blamed for things. Even when we jump behind and help and try to save somebody, we're the issue there. So is that the modern day woman?
No, the modern day woman is just, we've gotten to such a privilege.
Okay. I'm going to stop right there for a second. I know, dang, hold on. Dang it. All right. I know I was supposed to be gone by now, but what, I got 5 minutes of this. So I'm going to make this real quick. I'm going to make this real quick. So. All right, present. Because she was talking crap about Jonathan Majors. But she also did an interview with Jonathan Majors. So we're going to talk about that. And this is after the whole Michael B. Jordan corny thing happened. And this is before, you know, the scandal broke out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's interviewing Michael B. Jordan. Hold on. Did they show the part where Jonathan Majors come out? Okay, no, they don't show it, but like on this, and I'm not gonna, you know, look too hard into it, but on this same interview, she said something. Hold on, she has that weird box shape, but anyway, she said something to the effect of, which one of you is more handsome? And they looked at each other like, what kind of question is that? That was stupid. And it was a stupid question because she's a dumb broad. That's why she's on here. Like on this show with Melissa Ford and everybody else, you know, they get around the same amount of views as I do, you know, as a vibrating chess piece because they're lame and they're fat and they got blue hair. You know, like with all this production value, they got cameraman and rainbow people doing makeup, all that, you know, just to get the same crap that the vibrating chess piece get. Why? Because they suck as human beings. Like, and that is the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter. And this is her career. And she went to high school with Michael B. Jordan, but she sucks as a person.
Of being able to shift the narrative of what womanhood looks like. Like my mom married to get out of her house, and her mom did the same thing.
Right.
And I couldn't imagine that for myself. You know, I'm 39 years old now, and I would like to be married and get in you know, a committed relationship and all of that, but I don't want to do so just to like escape or welcome in this next part of my life that I think this person is going to usher me into. I don't want to be nobody's Coretta. Like, I'm having a great time being Oprah. Whoopi.
You're not Oprah. and you're not having a great time. There's no great time being you. Everything about your life is less.
Like all the people that don't want nobody up in their house.
What about when you want a sugar daddy?
I really do it to
We talked about this, and I told her
There's a website for that.
Why is what is your reasoning behind that?
I mean, I know that there's a lot of negativity around that, but I would love to be taken care of and not be any of my money. I don't want the control part. If I could cater it.
9 times out of 10, when you're leading with the money, it's because you want to be able to control the person.
Yeah.
Y'all see how the narrative is completely different? Y'all see how the narrative is completely different than when the white woman is in the room? Like, oh no, we can't find a man. But now it's like, you know, I'm okay being Oprah. I'm okay being Whoopi. I'm okay being a fat, ugly broad. Like that's they don't say that when white women are around. They don't talk about how content they are, you know, that they're not willing to put the work in. Which is what the real problem is. They're like, oh no, they're in jail and we're so educated. Shut your fat ass up. No. It's because you're fat, you're fake haired, you're old. Like it all comes back to you, sweetie. Stop cherry picking, you know, the cheerleading lawyers and start pointing the camera at these broads.
So you use the money to kind of keep them in a certain way.
Yeah, but even the broke ones, they want.
They
do.
They
Which is why the modern woman is out here kicking doors
But
down.
you also said no, but a real man.
What doors have you kicked down? What doors have you kicked down? Y'all have not kicked down a damn door ever. I'm gonna give y'all an example of what kicking a door down looks like. Shout out to the ancestors that fought for freedom, because Lincoln actually said, you know, if he could keep the Union together and keep slavery going, you know, he would do it. But they needed the soldiers so bad that they offered blanket emancipation. That's kicking a door down. That's kicking a slavery door down. What door have you kicked down? Somebody said DEI. That's not kicking a door down. That's just society giving you crap. Somebody said the big one kicked the door down. Why? Why does she kick doors down? I mean, she can't fit in them. She don't fit in a standard size door, and you know it. She needs a double door just to get into a room. She could only go to the bathroom on the first floor. And that's because there's a hole on the second floor where she has to like climb a ladder down to get into it. Like she's not regular. She don't use doors.
It's going to provide.
She used garages.
And not have to look at it as, well, I'm providing for you so I can control you.
Eventually it all will, do you have to be out this late? Is it, why are you coming in this late?
That might be
because it's my job. I'm a comedian. I have to be at nightclubs till probably 2:30 in the morning. Like, and it started off not controlling, but then it turned into that, you know, just throwing little hints here or doing it in a subtle way.
I have never heard of you, ever. You're not a successful comedian. The fact that you are in nightclubs telling lame jokes every night and coming home at 2:30 in the morning is a problem to any guy, I'm sure.
Try to make me say, oh, well, maybe I don't need to be out 5 nights a week when I know that's where I need to be.
Yeah. Well, how about if it flips? We all have a couple dollars up here, right? Modern woman. Is the modern woman willing to be the controlling one and take care of the man and let him be a stay-at-home dad?
It's not for me because the ship has sailed on children for me. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Yes, because you're past menopausal, your vagina is dry, it lost all elasticity, and you randomly piss yourself. Absolutely, that ship has sailed.
You know, so for me, having a man in my life is somebody who is like, will be a really great addition to what I've already set up for myself. Like, I'm now a homeowner. I have a really great job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's just like the guy.
Wait, what? Holy crap. Did she just say I'm now a homeowner? Dang, I really gotta go. Did this bro just say I'm now a homeowner? Hold on. So what are you, like 48 years old? Like, you've been in the entertainment business for 48 years. Or I'm sorry, you're 48 years old and it's like, oh, I am now a homeowner. Wow. Your career must have been trash. And that's probably why you're here. You know, because I never heard of you. It's not like you're Brandy or some crap like that. Like, it's not like Megan Good is now a homeowner. I'm pretty sure she was a homeowner for a long ass time. Like, wow. So what was you doing? Was you living in Cabrini Springs like Winona from Good Times? Like, what the hell?
That would be perfect in my life would be somebody who wants to be a witness to my life and I'm a witness to theirs. We're the rich auntie uncle.
And trust me, but you're not rich. You just now bought a home. Like, if your career has just picked up, then you're not rich. You haven't been rich. I don't know what the hell you were. Because you're struggling. Get on your knees and then start juggling. What the? I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, that's me. So you
And trust me, I'm not shooting at anybody who, you know, who bought their home in their 40s. That's becoming more and more common amongst common people. You're an entertainer and you always you talk about how boss you are. And I'm saying, like, that's not very boss.
Never thought about kids, marriage.
No.
I've always thought about kids and marriage, and now it's
God.
totally flipped. I am at a point where I do not want kids.
Right now.
However, I'm also open if the partner situation comes in and there's kids involved or what. I am open to that, but I feel like I'm having to like keep remaking that piece in order to not make myself feel like I'm mourning some life that I didn't get, that I thought I always wanted. And
it's also making peace with the decisions that you feel like you were always supposed to want, but you never really actually wanted them. If I wanted something to happen, I would have made it happen.
Right.
Children
That's real.
didn't happen. And it's probably because I never really saw myself as, you know, being a mom. Like, it just.
Okay, well, there you have it. Now, I think part of this is Cap. I do think that at some point she did see herself as being a mom, but she's an insufferable person. So, but yeah, I think she did see herself as being a mom at many points in her life. And now she's telling people that, oh, I never wanted to be a mom anyway. Shut your ass up. That's like if I were to get shot down by you, and then I say, oh no, I didn't want to hit it anyway. When I say by you, I mean when we both were in our 20s or something. Like, yeah, come on now. I didn't want to hit it anyway. That's what you sound like.
Just, it wasn't in the cards, you know, and I've been secretly okay with it, but I felt ashamed to actually admit that, you know?
Why? Because other women made you feel that, or society?
It's a societal pressure to make you feel like if this is not being used, your uterus is not in use, then what use are you as a woman? You know what I mean?
They make men too, because, you know, a guy that I've been seeing, he doesn't have any kids. And the first thing that people are all, you know, and I was guilty of it too. I was just like, you ain't got no kids. But I caught myself and I was like, no, Tori, don't think like that. You know, just maybe he just hadn't found that person.
But it's a little bit more forgiving for them. Like, they can get away with being like the George Clooney, like Bachelor for Life kind of thing. It just is, you know, for women.
No. That was a long time ago. Society has then accepted the fact that y'all don't produce anything, not even life, into the modern world. We've embraced that. You had a presidential candidate whose platform was taking life away. Nobody's pressuring, who didn't give life herself. Yeah, let's talk about that. Who was pressuring the last presidential candidate? Sure wasn't Willie Brown. Yeah. Huh. Like, shut up. The hell up.
I mean, it's just like, what's wrong with you?
I've met someone recently and, you know, he's in his 40s and he doesn't have children. I'm like, I had a slight moment where I was like, okay, you sure you got no kids? Like, you sure you got no kids in Haiti somewhere?
Right.
Like, but also I was like, maybe God just saved this one for me. Like,
Right.
Maybe God just saved this one for me. So remember how on the ABC video they were saying love, marriage, and a baby carriage. That's what every little girl wants. Really? Really? Because it seems like they want to wait till they're 40 and then find another man without kids. Like,
maybe that was my little treasure to find.
Here's the funny thing. So I didn't see myself having kids until I was 35. I had kids 9 years earlier than 35. And so, you know, in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not going to have a career. I couldn't navigate and do as much as I wanted to do. So, you know, now that my kids are older, I feel like I'm a little late to the party. But I'm starting to remove that out of my head because I'm like, no, Tori, now is the time. You know, your kids are older.
I say you are the party.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of
my
here.
gosh, you
Thank
are
you
the party.
so much for watching. I want to thank y'all so much for opening up and just expressing.
they are so lame. They are so lame. All right. So let me just double check before I go. All right, perfect. All right, I want to thank the super chats. I want to thank the managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, those who participate in the chat. I'm gonna do movie night after I run this errand. So those of you who want the link to movie night, go ahead and email me, and I will give that to you. Today we are going to be covering. What is that? What's the name of that movie? There's a movie called for intro. I'm gonna do a movie called Mopes, the movie Media. And the main event will be Kingdom Come with LL Cool J, Jada Pinkett, Tony Braxton, and all that. So hit me up if you're interested in that. And this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.